Hey, what's up everybody? It's another question I received. Somebody asked me to tell them a little bit about my family life, my relationship with my family, and my children as well. And so getting into that, I was a real super energetic kid. I was all over the place, even as a baby, I want to say. I had a love for my family, for sure. I think we were very close and tight-knit at a certain point when I was younger. There were definitely struggles. My mom had me when she was super young, along with my dad, and so there was a lot going on. My grandfather was an alcoholic. There wasn't necessarily a lot of maturity in my upbringing as far as that's concerned. I think my mom was mature. I don't know that they were necessarily ready for me all the way, but they did the best that they could. I definitely loved them. I appreciated them and everything that they did, and everything that they could do. Amidst their own trials and problems and tribulations and growing and things like this. But I want to say, my relationship with my mom is, I love my mom. I loved my grandmother. I was always with them, whether New York, Puerto Rico. While my mom had caught cancer while I was very young, my grandmother took care of me, so she was basically a second mom to me overall, in general, and in actuality. But I loved her. I was very close to them, I would say. And then, my dad, it was probably a little bit of a different story. I wasn't as close to him, and I think a lot of that had to do with his upbringing as well. I mean, he had to play like the older figure for his brothers and sisters in his own life, and I think that might have kind of turned the tides for him when he had his own child. And there was a lack of understanding there. I mean, we did have good times, don't get me wrong. We had plenty of good times and fun and things of that nature. But there were other aspects of the relationship that I want to say they didn't grow as fast, or they didn't grow as well. And that's okay. That's life, and it's all a part of life ultimately. My relationship with my grandfather was pretty tumultuous. It was a little more difficult to be close to him because of his issues and the things that he was faced with, and his trials and his own demons that he was battling and dealing with. And then I had, outside family. I loved my uncle. I loved all my uncles, essentially. Some of them were always in trouble. My uncle, my mom's brother, he had his own, dealings early on in his life when I was a little younger, so it was harder to have a relationship. But that's pretty much, the people that surrounded me most. And I'm always embracing and loving in my family either way. And then I have my daughters, who I love with all my heart. Our relationship is also tough, going back and forth, New York City, Texas. It's super difficult. It's not easy. Thank God that my daughter is my eldest is in a place to understand everything that her father is doing now in life, and so appreciative of all that I'm still able to do, and also very respectful and mindful of how far I've come, even as an immature father myself, and in my foolishness, my younger days, to the difference that God has made in me, all the way up to this point. So I'm grateful for that. I love you, Lyric, and I love you, Ciela. That's pretty much it.